Hi guys. So I wanted to do, oopsies, almost broke my Christmas tree. I want to do this video about friendships, um, and an explanation kind of about me and my um, experience with friends in the past and my outlook on friendships. So if you're not into any of that, you might want to shut the video off because this is going to get deep in a minute. But I'm going to hopefully share and explain to you a little bit about what I've been through before, so that gives you an idea more about me and it'll make you understand where I'm coming from a lot of times. This actually came about because I posted something on Instagram a few days ago in regards to something about people letting me down or failed friendships and people that I can't trust or something like that. And someone was like, wow, like they commented to me like, wow, you like always post stuff like this. Like, who are these people that are constantly letting you down and why are they still in your life? And it kind of made me realize that subconsciously when I see these things on Instagram and I post them, like I read them and they hit close to home with me and then I end up reposting them, it kind of hit home with me because I didn't even realize that I was really doing it. Like I know that I'm posting it because that's how I feel and I know that I agree with it, but I didn't realize to other people what that looks like. Like, where is this coming from? Because you guys see me talk and post pictures and show you guys a part of my life that's just very happy and it seems like perfect kind of world, you know? But just like everybody else, I've been through and I go through stuff, and some of it not good. Some of it, it's sad and it changes how you feel as a person and your outlook towards life and other people. To start off this entire thing, I want to say I've never been the type of girl that has like a lot of girlfriends. A lot of girls say that they're like, I'm better friends with guys. I feel like I've always been better friends with guys. I feel like my best friends have always been guys. I grew up and became a little bit more in need of a girl, someone to talk to about the things that I had felt and were going through. And I sought out girlfriends. And I guess I sought them out and was willing to take anybody without really knowing who they were, if I could put it that way. As soon as I moved out of my house and I was changing, my situation, I wanted to move out, I wanted to get a job, I wanted to do things on my own. I got hired at Hooters, and I became friends with a very bubbly, funny girl that everybody loved. Like, if anybody mentioned this girl's name, everybody had nothing but good things to say about her. We both were talking about how we both wanted to move out. She was significantly younger. I was already 18. She was still 16, I believe, 16 or 17 or something like that. And she's like, I want to do it. I was like, don't flake on me. Like, if I find us an apartment and stuff like that, don't flake on me. No, I'm going to do it. And so we ended up moving together into this house, like right down the street, or into this apartment right down the street from where we worked. We both worked at Hooters together. We did everything together. We had a blast together. And you start to see changes, and I started seeing her demons. And I was wondering why she would have these awful mood swings and just would hole herself up in her room, and she would be gone for days, and I wouldn't know where she was, and she wouldn't tell me where she was, and she wouldn't answer her phone, and then she'd come home and she'd be like, oh, I was at my mom's house. But she did this so often that it made me wonder, why did you move out if you're always sleeping at your mom's house, if you're always staying for days and like at a time? And then I randomly one day just got a message from somebody on MySpace, back when MySpace was a thing, and they're like, yeah, your roommate is literally bipolar, right? And I was like, no, she's not. And like that was before things started to like make sense. So I was like, no, she's a sweet girl, she's funny, she's a good friend to me, like whatever, whatever. And I just didn't listen to the warnings, and I learned she was a little on the cuckoo side, and it was actually her ex-boyfriend who messaged me. And then 2 weeks later, I get a message from somebody else that was like, no, for real, she's bipolar. Long story short, years and years pass. We're no longer friends. Things went down that made no sense whatsoever. We stopped talking when I started dating Devin and I moved to West Palm. I asked her and I invited her up a few times to come visit me, and she, I think, came up once, but then she would disappear and not answer her phone, and she just kind of acted really shady towards me. And then I heard from other people that she was talking shit about me when she was still back in Fort Lauderdale and I was in West Palm. I'm like, but nothing's happened between us. Like, we both were in relationships. We both wanted to move out. As a matter of fact, she broke out of her contract for the apartment 3 months before I did. I ended up staying in the apartment with Devin, and we decided to move to West Palm for his job. So then it was just like odd to me, and then we ended up having like a fight via Facebook, but I don't even know why, because nothing even happened. It was just one of those things where I was so confused about why she was upset and why she was all of a sudden acting out. And she moves in with somebody else. She starts a whole new life somewhere else with somebody else in a different apartment. And this girl and her are besties, and they're posting pictures all the time. And I'm not gonna lie, I Facebook stalked her roommate a few times. I thought the girl was pretty and she had an amazing body, and I was like, I wanted to see what she was up to, and I kind of missed my friend, kind of missed my roommate, and I wanted to see what was going on with her, even if she wasn't part of my life anymore. And then I just stopped caring. I said to myself it wasn't healthy to be living in that world where I was constantly wanting to know what she was doing and why she changed on me. So I let it go. Long story short, her roommate ends up messaging me this long, when I tell you that it took me about 15 minutes to read the story, it was like 9, maybe 10, maybe 11 paragraphs long on Facebook. Why didn't you warn me? Why didn't you tell me? This is crazy. This girl's nuts. Look at what she did to me. Listen to what she did to me. And I was like, holy moly. Like, it was validation to me that I wasn't crazy, and that she literally was just not altogether there, and maybe it was because she was younger, or maybe she really was bipolar. But it kind of gave me, for like a year and a half, 2 years, it gave me like this feeling like I had done something wrong, like maybe I was a bad friend, even though I know that I wasn't. I have a tendency, it's part of my personality, that it makes me happy to make other people happy. Even if I'm not really that good of friends with you, if I find out that it's your birthday, no one's doing anything for you, it makes me ecstatic to feel like I can plan you a birthday party and that you're going to love it and that you're going to be so excited, because otherwise you'd have no birthday party. And I don't do it because I want anything in return. I do it because I feel like that's how I would want someone to treat me. You know what I'm saying? I don't do things for things to be done back, but if I bend over backwards for you and I do things for you and I'm constantly there for you, and then I ask you to be there for me one time and you tell me, oh, I can't because I'm tired, oh, I kind of don't want to today, it makes me feel like, holy moly, why am I friends with you? I can't depend on you for this one time that I ask you for something when I've been there for you so many times. The biggest scar in my life and the biggest regret that I have was becoming friends with this girl, Aisha. And I've talked about her in a previous video, like back when I first started my channel. And I put the video on private because I was like, this is like really crazy shit that nobody wants to hear about, and no one understands the story, so they're just gonna think I'm batshit crazy sitting here telling this girl off in my video. But this girl, when I tell you that I never realized that people were evil until I met her, this is what that person was. Just evil, bad inside. When you have a bad heart and it's ugly, that's the first time I ever really came across people that have done wrong, that have been shitty people, that have been assholes. But this girl takes the cake. In high school, I was head over heels obsessed and puppy love with this guy, Oscar. When I tell you that we were on the phone for 9, 10 hours a day, my battery would literally make my phone so hot that it like hurt my face. And I would have to like put it like this and put my face on the pillow holding the phone to me. And my mom would yell at me to come to dinner, and I often like would get yelled at because 30 minutes later I still hadn't come to dinner, and I was like, ah. And my mom would come knock on my door at 1:30 in the morning. I can't sleep because you're still on the phone. Get off the phone. And that's how we were. We were so cute, and I'm not gonna say we were in love, because by no means was I in love with this guy, but he was a new boyfriend, and it was fun, and it was my first time ever really liking a guy. And then out of nowhere, we're getting ready to go to prom, and everything is being set in motion, and I ask him what his plans are, and he tells me that he's not taking me, and that he's going solo or not going or something like that. I don't remember. And he became really distant, and he became like an asshole. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? Like, what did I do? What the fuck did I do? And I never found out what happened. I just remember thinking that his sister hated me. She was super, 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 super jealous of any girls, all of his girlfriends. Anytime he had a girlfriend, she would make his life hell. He was walking me home one day from school, and she came behind us running and screaming, if you walk her home, I'll never speak to you again. And she went fucking bonkers. Fast forward to 2011, we're like friends on Facebook, and we constantly talk to each other, and she's like, I'm so sorry, I don't know what was wrong with me. And we ended up being friends. So this day I'm still friends with her, and I love her to death. But that just like, I don't know what the fuck happened, but it just stopped. It's like, okay. And then I just continued to being best friends with this girl, Aisha. Okay, I skipped that part of the story. I was best friends since 9th, maybe 10th grade with this girl, Aisha. Met her in one of my classes, and I thought to myself that she started off by being mean to me. She made fun of me in class, and then her friend one day made fun of what I was wearing, and she kind of defended me, and I was like, well, that's new. That's different. Long story short, I found out that the guy that she liked in that class liked me and was constantly hitting on me, and she was jealous about it, and she came and she told me later on. She's like, I liked Ronnie, and he liked you, and it made me mad, and whatever. And then I was like, oh my god, I love this girl. Like, she's honest, and she's cool, and we have a bunch of fun, and like, we always laugh together. That's one thing that I do miss, was us telling each other everything. She wasn't the type of friend that was embarrassed to tell me, like, oh, I'm constipated and my shit fucking won't come out. Like, that was the kind of friendship, and I thought that we were going to be friends for years. So the whole Ronnie thing blew over, and we ended up being friends. And then the whole Oscar thing, he just disappeared, and we just weren't friends, and I graduated, and I went on. My senior year, right before senior graduation, I met this guy who was already in college, and within 2 weeks he told me he loved me, and within 4 weeks he asked my parents if he could marry me. And I liked him a lot, and I loved the idea of being with him, because he was a sweet guy, and he would basically do anything for me. He was just so sweet. We went to Disney together, showed me his apartment up in Orlando, because he lived in Orlando. He would drive down every weekend to see me, but then I just felt like he was like on me all the time, and he was just like, meh, 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 meh. I was like, okay, back up. I'm only 18, chill a little bit. And after me pushing him away and telling him that I wasn't ready to get married, because he proposed to me while I was working one night at Hooters. He gave me a ring, and I was like, wow, I don't know what to say, and he was kind of upset that I didn't give him an answer. But I didn't want to offend him, so we had to talk, and I was like, listen, I'm just not ready. And then a few weeks later, he's like screaming at me that I'm cheating on him with somebody, and I'm like, wait, what? Like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? And he texts me, he's like, don't tell Aisha, but she came to me and told me you were cheating on me. And I was like, what? Like, I would leave Aisha and Josh together when I would go to work and when I would go do something that I had to do. And I trusted both of them, and I never, like, thought to myself that she would try and sabotage my relationship. This is a girl that I was friends with since high school. And I just thought that it was so odd. And I asked her about it. She denied it to death and denied it to death and denied it to death. And I'm like, okay, but where is he coming from with all these things that he's saying? Because some of these stories, like pieces of it and information that he has about people and things, are things that he would never know about it unless it was you. Not that I had anything to hide, but like he was mentioning names of boyfriends and people that he was not around when those people were in my life. So he wouldn't know about it unless someone told him. So I knew that it was her, and I knew that she was lying to me, and I wrote her off. I wrote her off, and I told her I never wanted to see her again, that she was out of my life. Um, I wrote about it on my MySpace, I think it was, or my Facebook. I was like, I can't believe this, like a friendship down the drain after all these years. And Oscar wrote me a message and was like, actually, the reason why I stopped talking to you and didn't take you to prom was because of her. She told me that you were cheating on me, and I was like, hold on. She told you that I was cheating on you. Then she told my fiance that I was cheating on him. What the fuck is going on? Seriously. What is happening? I was baffled. And he's like, please don't tell her. She would never forgive me. She would fucking kill me. She swore to me that on her life, on her family, that you were cheating on me. And I believed her because, you know, she was so, like, adamant about it. And I was like, that's fine. She's out of my life. I'm done with her. So I ended up moving in with Christy, and we were years out of, I was already, I think, 2 years out of high school already. And, no, not even. No, there's no way. I was like 8 months out of high school. And I get a on my Facebook, can I talk to you? Can I see you? And I'm getting text messages. And she's the type of person, Aisha will not give up. Like, if she wants you to answer your phone, she's going to call you until you change your number. She will not give up. She doesn't care how stupid it makes her look. She used to do this to her boyfriend. And she was blowing up my phone. I'm like, what? What do you want? I haven't talked to you in like a year. What do you want? I want to see you. Please let me come by and see you. And she wouldn't even talk to me on the phone. She just wanted to see me. So she came to my apartment. She begged me for forgiveness. She swore to me that she would never do it again. That she just... First of all, I didn't even tell her about Oscar. But she swore to me that the whole thing with Josh just made her jealous, and that she kind of had, like a fear of, like, losing me as her friend. Or I forget what the fuck her explanation was. And me being the softie that I am, I was like, okay, and I let her back into my life. And then, again, inseparable. We were inseparable. We were best friends again. And we were all the time hanging out. And then Devin and I decided to move to Vegas. So we made a pact that we were going to send each other videos. We created a brand new YouTube page, and we would film videos and upload it that night, and then we would text each other, hey, I put up a new video for you. And we would Skype, and we would take pictures and send it to each other all day long. And I even told her, come visit me, come out here, come see me. And she's like, well, you know, because she'd been in this on and off relationship with this guy that was actually out here in the Air Force in Vegas. So she's like, yeah, you know what, I really want to see him, I really want to talk to him, and I want to be around you, so I'll come and, like, we'll hang out or whatever. So she came, and she was also looking for a job out here. She was hoping that things would be reconciled between her and August, and that she would find a job and be able to move out here. He kept telling her he didn't want to see her. As soon as she landed, she was like, I want to surprise him. Call him, tell him that you want him to come see your new house, and invite him over for dinner, and then I'm going to be in a room upstairs waiting, and I'll just surprise him. I didn't like the idea because I felt like I was being put in a rock in a hard place, but she was my friend. I was going to do whatever I felt she needed. And if she wanted to be with him more than anything in the world, I wanted to help her make that happen. So, of course, as soon as we take him upstairs and show him around all the rooms and he sees her, he's like, I fucking knew it. I knew it. He's like, I've told you a million times I didn't want to see you. And she's like, please just talk to me. Please just talk to me. She closed the door, and they were in there forever talking. And the next day, she's like, I'm going to go hang out with him and stuff like that. And he's like, I can only hang out for a little bit because then I'm going away for training. And then he came and he picked her up and he took her around and did stuff. And she's like, it was odd because he didn't have a packed bag in the car or his charger or anything. So she knew he was trying to ditch her. And we drove to his apartment that she memorized that one time that he took her, and she made me drive in the middle of the night to go like do like a drive-by. And she tapped on his door, and sure enough he answered, and she knew that he'd been lying. Actually, no, we didn't tap on his door. She knew his fucking garage code. And she memorized it from when she was standing behind him when they went into the house together that one night. So she lets herself into the garage. She's telling me to come in. I'm like, no, that's breaking and entering. So I stayed in the driveway, and then I can hear them screaming upstairs. She's like, I knew it. I knew you were here. I knew you were lying to me. And his roommate felt bad, so he came down and hung out with me, and we sat on my car. And I was like, this is crazy. I don't want to be stuck in the middle of all of this. So then we left, and she was crying. She was hysterical, and I felt bad. I really did. And she's like, I just want to get a job out here, and I feel like if I'm here, he'll be more inclined to make it work. So Devin and I, feeling bad, were like, okay, this is my best friend in the whole world. This is somebody that I've been friends with for years and years and years and years. I tell her everything. She tells me everything. Devin and I discussed it one night in bed, and we were like, okay, well, let's offer for her to live here with us, rent-free. We won't charge her any money whatsoever. And we'll let her go to school and work so she can get her feet on the ground, and hopefully so that she can be closer to August. Then I find out that I'm pregnant. I was having really bad pains, and I kept telling her that I didn't feel right and that something was wrong and things just didn't feel right. And one day Devin left for work, and it was really early in the morning, and we were unpacking boxes for the new house that we're currently in, and I was like, this is bad. I need to go to the hospital. So I called Devin, and I was like, I need to go to the hospital. Aisha and I are going. He's like, wait for me. I'm coming. I'll be there in 15 minutes. So the three of us go to the hospital. I'm dying in pain. They gave me a sedative or something, and I was literally in the hospital for like 9 hours in bed. And then they're like, no, you're fine. You're having a normal pregnancy. You're good to go. And I'm like, this can't be right. Like, the pain that I'm having right now is deathly. And she kept telling me that she didn't want me to have an abortion. And I was like, I know that Devin's not ready for it, but I really want to keep it. The fact that, I even got pregnant was a miracle, because I was told really, really early on that it would be very hard and difficult for me to have a normal pregnancy, if any at all. And I started crying, and she started crying, and it was like this whole ordeal. And then we got home, and the very next morning she left. She had to fly home. She was going back to Florida, and I drove her to the airport, and on my way back I had to pull over because I felt like I was gonna basically die, like pass out and die. Long story short, I came home and I had my miscarriage, and she landed, and she texted me that nobody in her family was happy to see her and that she was really upset. And I told her to call me because I had some news. And she called me, and I was like, I had a miscarriage. And she completely ignored me and started telling me about how when she walked into her house, her brother ignored her, and her mom and dad ignored her, and they were watching TV, and they didn't care. I'm like, Aisha, did you hear me? Yeah, so I've had one before too. And I'm like, okay, that's really extremely insensitive. That's weird. I let it go, and I was just like really hurt. After that conversation, I turned my phone off, which I never do. And I went into a deep depression. I didn't get out of bed for 3 days. I didn't eat. I didn't shower. I didn't fucking sleep. And my phone, I had it on the charger because I always sleep with my charger next to me on the bed. I had my phone plugged in on the charger, off. And at some point it fell because so much moving around in bed. It fell, and it was behind the headboard and on the floor. And I went days and days and days with no phone. I finally turned my phone back on. I had like 30-something voicemails and 80-something text messages. And she's like, I need to know when I can move in, and I need to know right now because my family, I already told my family, and I need to know plans, and I need to know what to do. And I'm like, first of all, you ignored a huge, 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 huge deal that happened to me. And the first thing you say to me when I turn my phone back on is, I need an answer right now? How insensitive can you be? And then we started arguing, and she was telling me that because when it happened to her, she didn't want to talk about it, that she thought that's how I wanted it handled. And I said, no, that's obviously not how I wanted it handled if I came and I talked to you about it. And we started fighting, and I was so upset and hurt, and I was telling Devin, you know, I can't believe her and stuff like that. And he's like, if I tell you something, will you not get mad? And I'm like, what? And I've heard this before already twice. And he's like, when she was here, you left for work one night, and she asked me why I was with you, and she told me that I should dump you. And I was like, what? Again with this? He's like, yeah, she said that you don't deserve me because at that time, I hadn't had a job when we first moved out here. I went 6 or 7 months without being able to find work out here. It was winter time. Clubs and bars and restaurants really aren't hiring during slow season, and no one was really willing to hire me and train me with no experience. So I was kind of stuck. Devin moved out here with a job in hand already, in tow, and I didn't have that. So we bought this house and moved in, and we were fighting about how we didn't have any money, and we were fighting about our situation, but I still wanted Aisha to be able to move in with us and start her life and just be close and be happy with August and stuff like that. So we were willing to make that sacrifice. But then she went through that in my face and started telling Devin that because I had no job and stuff like this, and that I don't clean and whatever, that that he should leave me. And I'm the biggest OCD. I clean it all day, every day. Devin gets mad at me because he has to tell me to stop cleaning stuff so much because he feels like he lives in a model home. And I'm like, well, just put stuff back away. I get like antsy about it, but it was the furthest thing from the truth. And it was just that we were moving in and everything was scattered and I was depressed and I kind of had like a million things going on, but she used that weakness and that moment of weakness against me. And then oh, that's the other thing, when she landed in Florida, her friend who was supposed to pick her up, or her family, didn't answer their phone. Nobody would go to pick her up, so she's standing in the airport with nobody and no ride. So I called Devin's mom at 12:40 something in the morning, her time, and begged her to do me the favor and go pick up Aisha and to take her home. And so Devin's mom, who'd never met Aisha before, did that for me. So then I'm sitting here telling Devin how hurt I am and this argument that I just had with Aisha, and he's telling me about how Aisha told him to dump me and to leave me, and his mom calls. And we tell her that we had the miscarriage and that it, was really depressing and really sad. And I told her how right now I was fighting with Aisha, and can you believe this is what she told Devin. She goes, actually, that girl's really weird. And I said, tell me why. And she told me the entire ride from the airport taking Aisha home that Aisha did nothing but badmouth me, telling Beth, Devin's mom, that she has to get us broken up and that she has to get Devin to leave me because I don't do anything and that I don't take care of him and that I don't treat him right and all of these things. And I was like, this is the last straw. I'm done. I'm absolutely done. I couldn't believe it. The next morning, I woke up and I told my parents, I can't believe that my friendship with her is over, and this is what happened. And they're like, yeah, by the way, when you were in high school, we didn't say anything to you, but she came over one day, and when you were in the bathroom, she told us that you were on drugs, and that's why we took your car away for a week, and we didn't tell you why. And I was like, this is mind-boggling to me. This is mind-boggling to me. I felt like she came into my life to sabotage it. I literally feel like that's the only reason and interest that she had coming into my life was to do me harm. And that set me off. I threw my phone. I hadn't even hung up with my parents. I threw my phone. I ran downstairs. I grabbed my laptop. I opened it. I copy and pasted this long-ass email from her to me about private stuff that she wouldn't want August to know. And I sent it to him. And I said, listen, this is what's happening. I think you deserve to know. He's like, I don't know. He goes, you could have typed that up and sent it to me. Come on over. Come over. Come over right now. Come over right now and I'll show you text messages. I'll show you emails. Anything you want to see, I'll show it to you. email after email after email. And he's like, that's it right there. And he wouldn't tell me exactly what part of the email hit home to him. He's like, she lied to me. I knew it. And I guess the miscarriage that she had was with a guy that she was cheating on him with when she was promising not to be cheating or something like that, when they were promising to be working on stuff. So that set him off in all sorts of hizzy stuff. And it didn't feel good. I thought that it would. I thought that by getting her back in that way, that it would make me feel better and give me some sort of validation, but it didn't. It just made me feel like I stooped down to her level and I became this ugly person. And then I would constantly post shit about her, like, without tagging her to it, but she knew it was about her. You know, until this day, I still, sometimes I'll read a thing on Instagram, I'm like, oh, that's exactly how I feel about that bitch, and I'll repost it. It's just, at what point can I let it go? At what point can I let this go? And there's so much more to that story about her and the things that she has done to me that doesn't even scratch the surface. But those are the highlights, and that's kind of how everything went down with her. But she scarred me when it comes to friends and when it comes to people. I'll never see her in that same light again. People meet her and think she's fun and think she's great, just like my roommate. And then her true colors will show later on. And it has happened with her and multiple other friends. There are friends that will not talk to her. One girl that she was best friends with went years, like a decade, without talking to her. I don't even know if they're still talking or not, but she has a tendency to do that to people. And it makes her ugly. Not just on the outside. It comes from within, like the heart that this person has is ugly and it's bad. And I feel like, in turn, my heart became ugly when I was going back and forth with her and writing stuff about her and stuff like that. So I have tried my hardest not to care and to just let her awful, like, the part of my life that was with her in it, I wanted to let it go. And I need to let it go. Because that's something that will always be scarring to me. I'll always look at somebody and wonder what their motives are and who they are and if they're going to turn psycho on me. And long story short, I just am the type of person that gives my all and I bend over backwards for my friends. And if I feel like my friends don't give a shit about me and don't reciprocate, and again, I'm not doing it because I want something in return, but if you don't even give me the time of day, and I do so much for you and I care so much for you, it hurts. And a lot of times I have a tendency to become friends with people who are just really flaky and just come in and out of my life, and I don't know how to separate those people as acquaintances and as friends. So it hurts me every time that that person just goes from being 24/7 with me for months, like we're besties, and then they disappear, and they have a new bestie, and then they're trying to like hang out with me again, and then they have a new bestie, and it hurts me every time, and I still let people do it, and I don't know why. Don't know why till this day. This person, this person, this person screw me over, and then if they're nice to me, I'm like, oh, okay, well, they mean well, or whatever. So when you see me on Instagram posting shit, if you see me on Twitter posting shit, like angry shit and like sad shit, a lot of times it's one of those cases and one of those situations. Oh my god, this is a 35-minute video. This is ranting on ranting on ranting. I love everybody, and I'm sorry if this was just the dumbest video in the world that you don't care about. For those of you who have experienced something and that understand where I'm coming from, please comment me. How do you deal with it? How do you get over it and become wiser to people and life? Because I really could use some advice. I really could use some help and guidance It's really what I could use. Yeah, I like my Christmas tree. I decorated last night while Devin was sleeping. I wanted to surprise him. But anyway, love you guys. I hope that all of you are having a great week. Christmas is almost here. Don't forget, you have exactly, what's today? Today's the 7th. You guys have exactly 6 days, I think, for the end of the giveaway. So don't forget, there's the men's giveaway on Instagram, there's the women's giveaway on Instagram, and there's the huge, huge, huge giveaway on YouTube. So if you want to participate, participate. Love you guys, and I'll talk to all of you soon.